Hi, welcome back. Let me move this up. Oh, right there. Yes, right in front of me. Listen, welcome back to Hollywood Discharge. I was thinking about this earlier. You know how when people say, you're like, "Hey, how are you?" And their response usually is always, "Can't complain." You can't. You can't complain just like a pubic hair. You can't just like a little bit, because you know what? I can always complain. Is that negative? Sure. But I mean, like, are we being honest here? Can't we always complain? Listen, today here on Hollywood Discharge, guess what we're going to talk about? Guess what set that I was on that we're going to talk about? Pam and Tommy. I did one day on there. I was a bartender at the Viper Room, darling, which the Viper Room where we filmed was in fact in North Hollywood off of Lancashire, I do believe. Our holding, meaning like where we sat waiting to go on set, was in a parking lot with no cover. But it was a nice day. It was a nice day. Let me see if these tits are good. Girl, I wish I had tits. Because if I had tits, bitch, I would be the most successful, unsuccessful stripper in all the land. Oh my god, the cats are running my... Anyways, listen, so I was on Pam and Tommy, and I filmed a scene where I was a bartender. Oh, this thing isn't on correctly. A bartender at the Viper Room. Why am I fucking repeating myself? I filmed with Sebastian Stan. I do believe he's the one that was Tommy Lee. If there's children listening and they don't know what I'm talking about, we're talking about Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee's sex tape, and that's what Pam and Tommy, I didn't watch it, but that's what Pam and Tommy essentially is about. I don't have much to say. He seemed okay. He was like nice enough. I had to serve him a cocktail at one point, and then it was like a super easy day. It was right by my apartment, so I was like, bada bing, bada boom, let's get out of here. But I have so last night I decided to watch the Pamela Anderson documentary. I think it's called Love Pamela on Netflix. It just came out yesterday on the 31st. And if you have not seen this, you need to go watch it. First of all, Pamela Anderson to me is an icon. I grew up watching Pamela Anderson. I grew up fucking loving Baywatch. First of all, Hobie on Baywatch. Mama, sit on my face and tell me that you love me. I'll sit on your face and tell you I love you. Anyways, Hobie, he played David Hasselhoff's son in it. Mama, delicious, okay? And then we got Pamela Anderson, this hot blonde Canadian who was in Playboy. Anyways, Baywatch ended up becoming, if you kids didn't know, I believe it was the #1 running show in all the world at one point. So it was the most popular show. And yes, I mean, does the show have issues? Sure. Are there any black people or queer people on it? No, absolutely not. But this is one of those shows that it's like totally of the times. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Pam. So Pam's on this show. From there, I do believe she goes into a show called VIP. I don't know where you can stream it, but it was just her alone doing detective work. So much fun. And it was all these different fucking cute outfits that she'd wear. I mean, it was so much fun. And then Stripperella was another one. It was a cartoon. I believe it was Stan Lee. It was a cartoon about a stripper who fought crime, and Pamela Anderson is the voice in it. Anyways, regardless. So I think it's a little nuts that the producers and writers of Pam and Tommy are allowed to tell someone else's story, like, at all, first of all, but without having... Pamela says in the Netflix she was never asked. She wasn't even given a heads up about the show itself. And her kids were, like, bracing for impact because her kids are grown now, and they didn't know, I mean, how the show was going to perceive it, what was going on. And how do they even really know what went on with that sex tape? That if you kids don't know, the sex tape was, and it shows it in the documentary, stolen from their house while they had construction going on. Then later on, the owner of Penthouse magazine offered them, I believe, it was like $3 or $5 million to distribute it. They said no, they just wanted it back. They were like, fuck off, give us our tape back. And then it got distributed regardless. She talks about how they never wanted money for it. They went to court to try and get it off the market, but they never wanted money for it. They just wanted it off, so they never made a fucking penny on it. And I think what is sad in all of this is how can Hollywood, and this isn't just the first time Hollywood has taken someone's story, like, I mean, you know who's very popular with doing it is Ryan Murphy. He loves to tell people's story, Dahmer, impeachment, all these people that are still essentially, I mean, not all these people, but like, the people that Hollywood is playing, that actors are playing, and I'm not blaming the actors. Actors gotta eat, okay? Actors gotta do stuff. I mean, is there some sort of moral compass going wrong with that? Probably, but at the same time, when you're struggling so much as an actor, and you land something like the Pam and Tommy, and you're gonna play Pam, fuck yeah, I would do it too, probably, because I'm hungry, I need fame, I need money, all that kind of shit, right? Especially if you're, like, in LA trying to make it work. But how is Hollywood allowed to just take people's stories and not pay them? How is Hollywood allowed to sit here and tell these stories how they want to, too? Like, it's not even the truth. And how is that legal? Why do we allow this? Why are we allowing this? And I'm not talking about, say, if I wrote a story and then I produced my own story and there were people in my story like my parents, my family, my friends. No, I'm not talking about that. That's like getting a teeny tiny piece of the pie. I'm talking about full on stealing these stories. Not Angeline. That was another one that they produced. They didn't give Angeline a heads up. She didn't make any money off of it. It's shit. And I do notice it seems to be happening with a lot of women's stories and not men. Now, I'm not saying that these actors didn't reach out to the people involved, but like at the same time, it's like, where's the money? If you're going to make the money, I need to make the money. Like thinking about impeachment, it's like Linda Tripp's kids were still alive. And I believe they came out and said that they loved the way the show came out. Fine, great. Did they get paid for the show? The answer, I believe, is no. Okay. So, what do we do with it? What do we do about it? There's probably fucking nothing we can do about it. But Pamela Anderson, Netflix, go watch it. It's 2 hours of pure joy. Not pure joy, but it really opens up the picture of, I think the biggest thing that I got from it is how head over heels these two were in love with each other and how I don't think it was, Tommy obviously is an alcoholic abusive, so, like, she got out of there. But, like, I don't know, just watching Pamela Anderson and what Hollywood did to Pamela Anderson and what acting as if she's just, like, a doll they can play with. Even, like, going into, like they showed a bunch of interviews with Jay Leno. What a sick fuck he is. Sitting there asking her about her tits the whole time and how was it playing, being in Playboy and this and that. It's like, just because you're sitting there and you're taking naked pictures for then a very exclusive magazine that, back then the culture was, oh my God, if you were in Playboy, you fucking made it. I remember that being the fucking culture. And then you're going to sit there and ridicule these women who are trying to make a better for themselves, trying to act, trying to do all this stuff, teasing her, and then when a fucking sex tape comes out, everyone is just wanting to watch it. And this is prior to Kim Kardashian. This is prior to people becoming famous because of a sex tape, okay? This is a straight violation. And they, to this day, still don't know who stole the tape, who produced the tape, any of it. And then to wake up recently one morning and then see that they're making a Hulu series about the tape without consulting me. Like she says in the documentary, it's like a nightmare after a nightmare. And her poor fucking sons that have to deal with that shit. I don't know. We've all made our choices, right? I'm sure a lot of you are going to say, well, they shouldn't have put it on tape. Well, they had it in a safe, and the safe got that fucking stolen. So they thought that they were being smart about something that was an intimate video between the two of them at fucking Lake Mead, girl. Oh my God. I wanted to suck Tommy Lee's dick so bad. Sorry, I did watch the tape. Sorry, Pam. I know you're not going to see this, but I did. Even though I love you, I did. And I may or may not have, rubbed a couple out to it. Not to you though, Pammy. To your respectful ex-husband who destroyed your hand and tried, was he the one that destroyed your hand and then tried to, no, he kicked you. I don't know. Watch the documentary. Love you, Pamela. The ending was great. Working on Pam and Tommy, whatever. It was literally one of the last background acting gigs I got in LA before I fucking hightailed it out of there. It was fine. It was a paycheck. If you guys watch the show, let me know what you think. I would love to know what you think. Let me know what you think. Tell me what you think. Let me know what you think. Tell me what you think. And this has been a short episode of Hollywood Discharge. Okay? Please subscribe, like, rate, unless you're going to rate it terribly, and then you can